Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I, of course, am Jennifer, welcoming you to this new episode. I hope this episode finds you well. I hope you'll do me a favor, and if you're watching this on YouTube, right below my boobs and my cleavage here, please click on my name and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. If you're new to this podcast, it's all about cross-dressing. It's all about inclusion of cross-dressers. If you're a cross-dresser, this podcast, this video is just for you, as are all my previous ones. Please do me a favor, check out my previous videos. I think you'll find a lot of useful topics, ideas. You'll hear about my thoughts, my hopes, dreams, ambitions, my life, my journey, and much, much more. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, whether it be on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you download your audio podcast, if you're new, hi, welcome. All of the rules I just said apply to you as well. Just you're listening in your ears instead of watching me. Please do me a favor, subscribe to my podcast, and also do me another huge favor and check out my previous episodes. One final favor, if you're a podcast listener, especially on iTunes, please leave a positive review. The more positive reviews I get, the more other cross-dressers that do searches for podcasts about cross-dressing will find this podcast, and our community will grow, and things will be better all the way around. And right now, we all know that we can use a lot of positivity, a lot of better things all the way around. So this episode I am entitling, What's in a Name? Now, if you ever looked and saw my name, I go by the name of Jennifer Hangartner. And a lot of times people ask me, where did I come up with my name? Well, let me kind of give you a journey of my name. As far back as I can remember, when I thought about cross-dressing, when I started getting into cross-dressing, even when probably like middle school, junior high, when I started trying on my mom's clothes and stuff, I think every cross-dresser or trans girl goes through a thought process of what your name would be if you were a woman or if you were a girl. And for me, Jennifer was the first one that popped into my head. That was the one that I just fell in love with, I liked. In school, there were two Jennifers that I really liked. One of them is a close friend of mine now. The other one, not so much, but they both were named Jennifer. One at the time went by Jenny, but I really admired her as well as the other Jennifer that I'm talking about. And that name just felt right to me. And I think if you talk to a lot of other girls, you'll discover that they feel like the name they picked out for themselves just feels right. It's something that they could identify with, they felt comfortable using. And I think a lot of times for us girls, it doesn't take a lot of thought to come up with your name, at least your first name. It works. It's something that you gravitate towards. You kind of go, that's it. That's all there is to it. Maybe it's something that, you had thought of in the back of your mind as you start your cross-dressing journey, and you might hear a name or see a name and you go, that's the one that identifies me. Now, as far as my last name goes, for the longest time, I just went by Smith. And the reason I did was because it's one of the most generic names outside of Jones that you could have. And when I was just kind of casually cross-dressing and I was being secretive about it, and I didn't really want anybody to know about it, I figured if I used the name Jennifer Smith, there's probably a bazillion Jennifer Smiths out there. Who's going to put Jennifer Smith together with my male name at all? And that's how I kind of went with it. Fast forward to a few years ago when I decided that I wanted to be a lot more comfortable with my cross-dressing, a lot more at ease with who I am, and not being afraid of people to find out about this side of me. I thought it was time for me to change my last name. And I put a lot of thought into it because I thought maybe I could go with my regular male last name, but my last name isn't all that common, so some people might put two and two together. And then I kind of started going through other names, and as you can see, my last name I chose was Hangartner. Now, the reason I chose Hangartner was because that was my mom's maiden name. And although my mom, she knew about my cross-dressing, we had a really abrupt conversation about it back when she first found out. and she never really accepted it. She accepted me as who I am, and she always told me that she was proud of me for who I am. I kind of took that to feel, or I felt that maybe she felt that way about my cross-dressing, but I think for the most part she was probably ashamed of it. And I know she was afraid of other people finding out about it, people that she knew or people that knew her and who I was as my male self and put two and two together. She didn't want to suffer that shame. But as I started thinking about her last name, I thought about who my mom was. And my mom was somebody who, not once, but twice, due to circumstances kind of beyond her control, she was a single mom. I had two older brothers who were quite a bit older than me, a couple decades older than me. And her first husband passed away due to health issues, and she raised the two of them as a single mom. Fast forward 20 years, she found herself unexpectedly pregnant with me, and she, after I was born, 5 years after I was born, she met a guy who wasn't the best guy in the whole wide world. He had issues and disappeared, and we had my little sister, and my mom once again found herself a single mom raising two kids. And my mom is somebody who, she never worked like a regular job. She cleaned houses for a living. She did side jobs of painting, interiors of houses. She baked cakes for people. And the more I thought about my mom and how independent she was, and how as I was a teenager, she had suitors that wanted, or boyfriends that wanted her to move in with them or get married, and she never did that. She had been burned kind of twice, and she was a very independent woman. And the more I thought about my mom, the more I wanted to take her last name, to honor the woman that raised me, that taught me my values, taught me right from wrong. And before I did that, I reached out to my little sister, who I had come out to about my cross-dressing, and asked her what she thought, if I changed my name to Hangartner to honor our mom. And she gave me her blessing. My sister said, I think Mom would be proud of the person that you are, and I think that she would be honored that you are carrying on her last name. So there you have it. There's how I came up with my last name. As far as middle names go, I kind of jump around a bit. I like the sound of Jennifer Marie Hangartner. I think that sounds good. Or Jennifer Lynn Hangartner. That sounds kind of good too. So I'm kind of up in the air on that. But I encourage you, if you are somebody who is embracing your cross-dressing, to, you probably have already come up with your femme first name, but put some thought into your last name. If you're going to use your feminine self as an identity, put some thought into your last name of what it means to you and how important it is. So there you go. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this topic. It's something I haven't covered before. So please do me a favor and leave some comments on this video. If you're a podcast listener, you can leave comments there. And last but not least, if you want to send me an email, it's as easy as writing an email to Jennifer's Tale Podcast, all one word, @gmail.com. And I promise you, it might take me a few days to respond, but I'll always respond to any emails that I get. So until next time, this is Jennifer, saying hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.